chalk this one up to weird news of the week. It feels like for the past few weeks we've had like weird news of the week, but this one takes the cake. But I don't hate certain parts of this nearly as much as some other people are, and that is 50 Shades of Grey's Dakota Johnson has been cast as Madam Web in the upcoming Madam Web movie that Sony's been developing for a little bit now. First of all, the positives that I will absolutely leap to defend. Dakota Johnson is a phenomenal actress. I know she kind of has the same issue of Kristen Stewart, of like people only see their early work of like Kristen Stewart, you're the Twilight girl, or Dakota Johnson will always be either one of two things. Oh, hey, you're Don Johnson's kid, or oh yeah, you're the 50 Shades girl. No, if you've only seen her for that, then you're really missing out. There's a criminally underrated movie that she's in called The Peanut Butter Falcon. She is so good in that. It's such a heartwarming movie. But then she also did... Oh!
Uh-oh. I see some lights going off.
Yes.
What you got? Hit me with your tinfoil.
No, like this is stronger than tinfoil hat theory here.
Oh,
she was also in a movie called Bad Times at the El Royale with John Hamm, directed by Cabin in the Woods' Drew Goddard. Drew Goddard, a few years back, was attached to direct the Sinister Six spin-off movie.
Oh my gosh. You don't think that they're slowly building a Sinister Six, are you?
I don't think they're doing a Sinister Six movie solo anymore. I think the plan, like how this Spider-Man trilogy ended with, spoiler alert, it's more or less an origin for the true Spider-Man. I think this new trilogy will end with the Sinister Six with Venom thrown in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting Drew Goddard back into the Sony fold, just reworked into some other projects. Now, I don't think he's doing this. I think we already have a director attached to the Madam Web project, which might be separate than the Olivia Wilde directed movie. I think that's a Spider-Woman movie. But I think it's a little too coincidental that we have some form of like 6 degrees of Sony connection here with Drew Goddard and Dakota Johnson having worked together in the past, which also, if y'all haven't seen it, Bad Times at the El Royale is another one that's really underrated. That's got a fantastic cast of John Hamm, Dakota Johnson, Jeff Bridges, Chris Hemsworth. It keeps you on your toes. She's a phenomenal actress. That being said, isn't Dakota Johnson like 70 years too young for this role? Because Madam Web is old. But also, we've kind of been against the idea of a Madam Web movie for a while, primarily because Madam Web is notorious. Like, her known features are she's immobile and she's not typically an active participant in stories. She's a lot like the Watcher in Marvel's What If. She's very much a passive character she's always a very critical character, just like the Watcher, but she's very rarely a active character. She's at the center of the web of the Spider-Verse, essentially. Like, she's almost like an oracle type of, she can see the vast multiverses, but very rarely interferes with it. So I'm going, what is the narrative here? Please don't tell me it's just going to be a generic story that ends with her in some massive accident that's going to put her up in the web life support for the rest of her life. Because the web that she's on is basically a massive life support system. I'm worried that it's just going to be a generic action movie that ends with her being in something that creates the life support system that she's going to be on. Also, I didn't notice this until today. Dakota Johnson might want to be a little more acclimated either to spoilers or which company she works for, because when she had officially announced it on her social media, she shared the article and then tagged both Sony and Marvel. I'm going, so one of two things. Either she said something she shouldn't have, or two, just got confused and assumed that they're a working relationship, because to my knowledge, this is her first superhero role. So like maybe she doesn't know, hey, Marvel's not fully involved. Or are they? If we're getting Doctor Strange with different multiverses, maybe Dakota Johnson is Sony's answer to that in terms of this character that can see the multiverse. I do not want Madam Web to be a Doctor Strange type.
No.
But I do worry that Sony will look at her that way.
Yeah, totally, because it's Sony. Like, I'm very worried that they'll end up doing what you said, where she's just like the secret agent or something, or a scientist or something, and ends up in a bad accident at the end, and that's how she ends up seeing the multiverse and is in a life support system. I think like what you and I said, well, I don't hate the casting. I love Dakota. I think she can act her butt off, and by all means, bring it on. But at the same time, it's like I'm a little confused of what we're doing here. I almost feel like, and maybe they're playing it close to the chest for a reason, but Disney and Marvel have to make it public, at least for the fan story continuity, to kind of understand the relationship. Because right now, it feels like anybody can show up anywhere. And while that's a great idea in concept, like it's also a little it's pretty confusing, because at the same time, like Morbius and Venom still have to have their own storyline, not attached to the main MCU. So it's like you have to be very clear, and that's why it was so confusing when she said, Sony and Marvel, because we need that distinction. That distinction is very, very important. Because if not, I'm just confused on what we're doing here. Because
Yeah.
Morbius can't be in the Venomverse and in the MCU at the same time. Like that doesn't work.
Yeah, I think that's the other issue. Is like Sony's either we don't know or Sony doesn't know, because it feels like the past few movies, whether it be Spider-Man, Venom, Morbius, or even Doctor Strange, it feels like maybe they know, but they can't tell us. But either that or it's just purposely confusing. Like we kept saying, all right, well, we'll get more answers from Morbius once Spider-Man No Way Home comes out. No, I'm still confused how Morbius slots in anywhere. Or they tease, well, Venom 2 leads into Spider-Man No Way Home. No, it didn't. It was like a blatant bait and switch. So it could also be like Doctor Strange introducing multiverse, and that could be a spoiler there. It's just felt like for the past few Marvel and Sony collaborations, it's very much just been like a Schrodinger Spider-Man, so to speak, of this universe both does and does not exist in the way that you do know it already. And I'm very confused right now. Josh and I are both in agreement that Andrew Garfield's probably the Spider-Man of the Tom Holland Venomverse, and will probably be in Morbius. But then
Tom Hardy, yeah.
Huh?
You said Tom Holland.
Yes, he will be Tom Hardy's Jared Leto's Morbius. But then again, if that happens, that brings up the question of, well, we saw Michael Keaton's Vulture. Please don't tell me you just filmed him for the trailers and he's not actually in the movie and it's confusing people. It just feels like maybe they have a big picture. But then again, Sony's been known to get ahead of themselves a lot. Sinister Six movie, and Aunt May movie that was originally penned at one point. Yes, look it up. That was actually a thing that was scheduled to happen at one point. I do worry that like MCU Spider-Man will stick around for a while, despite what Tom Holland's wishy-washy statements are depending on the week. He'll stay in the MCU, but I worry Sony will go back to the just make it up as it goes along. We'll connect it somehow. But I love the casting. I really do. I just question how this is going to fit in. And that can be said of any character right now. Kraven is supposed to film soon, and I still don't understand where that slots in either.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I mean, I'm still like all gunning for Andrew Garfield being the Spider-Man of the Venomverse. And I'm okay with Michael Keaton being Vulture in that universe. We just need that to be clear. That this was my worry whenever they opened the Pandora's box of the multiverse is it's all fun and games until nothing makes sense. And I just worry, as excited as I am for Dakota Johnson, I'm worried that we're getting in that territory, both from Marvel and Sony.